Hey guys, welcome back to Mental Health with Mel. I kind of wanted to try something different, and I wanted to do a chit chat with me. So I'm gonna do my makeup. First off, I'm not a makeup expert at all, so just bear with me. So before I start, I just wanted to show all of the products that I use. This is like new, but I've been using these for a while. I also use this highlight. It's Mecca. And I use an e.l.f. Primer, and also sometimes I use the black gel eyeliner under my eye. Recording and doing makeup is difficult, so let's just try our best here. This video is going to be super informal, so I'm just going to talk about things that I feel I want to address. Like, I've never really talked to you guys about like myself much, so I am 23 years old. My birthday is February 12th. I am an Aquarius, and I do kind of believe in the zodiac signs. Not a lot, but a little, enough to know that like my personality matches the zodiac sign, so I guess I believe in it. I am in college. I am a senior currently. I will graduate next semester in August. I'm taking 6 classes this semester, and I will be taking 7 next semester, so a ridiculous amount of classes. No, I don't know why I have done that to myself. I guess graduating like now is very important to me. I do live with my parents. I wasn't living with my parents for the last 3 years, but with my mental health, my old living situation with school, it just was too much, and I needed to take a break from being a full-grown independent adult. So now I am living with my parents, and that might change. I might be moving with my little brother in August. I might still move with my parents. I haven't decided yet. So that's a little bit about me. My degree also is in business management, business and organizational leadership degree. Some things that bother me about mental health, or like how people stigmatize it. I absolutely despise the fact that when someone goes missing or is caught, like gets arrested, the first thing that people like go into is that, oh, they have a mental health disorder, or they say like they have like a mental health condition, they might be a danger to themselves and others. It could literally have nothing to do with your mental health, like at all. It could literally be that you are just not a good person, or that you had to do it because of other circumstances. But it's always that, like literally always that. They always want to throw out that you have a mental health disorder. And it bothers me because, first of all, it is going with the stigma that if you have a mental health disorder, there's probably something wrong with you, or you are more likely to do something criminal, which is not the case at all. Most of us are very peaceful and like respectful. Obviously, just like anyone that doesn't have a mental health disorder, there are the few that do things that make the group look bad, just like people that don't have mental health disorders or whatever the case may be. But that really makes me annoyed, because it just doesn't always have to do with that, and you're putting it out there like as if it does. And so people are considering that like maybe if you have a mental health disorder, you aren't likely to be a good person, or you are prone to doing criminal things, or you can't control yourself. And I don't like that. I don't love that at all for us as a whole. So yeah, I don't love that. I think that it's very wrong to just disclose that information, mostly like before they've even caught the person or even know like why the person decided to do what they did. And also, I'm very open about my mental health disorder, but not everyone is. So imagine you were, God forbid, that you were kidnapped or something, or you went missing, like you were on a hike and you got stuck somewhere and you were missing. And this was completely unintentional. It was not your fault. You didn't have anything to do with it at all. But the news started talking about you and sharing your personal information and having your family speak. And then all of a sudden, they go out and say, well, Melanie has bipolar type 2. So it is likely that, she probably just did it, to herself. Like, maybe she just ran away, or maybe she just decided that life was too much for her and took her life, unfortunately. And I'm sorry if that's a trigger for some of you, but, it is something that we need to talk about. Like, just in general, how disrespectful that is to someone's privacy. Just assuming that because they have a mental health disorder, that life couldn't have just happened to them like anyone else. Like, they couldn't have just been missing because of circumstances that were out of their control. That it's okay to out them like that. Not everyone is accepting of mental health disorders. Not everyone wants their stuff to be out there because other people aren't accepting of their mental health disorders. So it's so unfair for you to be in a situation that you didn't control, that you didn't ask for, and then the police to just out you and be like, hey, this is their mental health situation. Just like if you were closeted, and you were actually gay or lesbian or just anything in the LGBT community, and someone decided that it was pertinent to the case. It could have been. I mean, it's a leap depending on the situation. But the question is, why was it that important that, like, everyone needed to know and you didn't respect privacy? Because if you weren't out and you were closeted, there's reasons for that. You might not have been ready. You might not 100% be sure of your sexuality. You might not want anyone to know for whatever reason. And they just went ahead and outed you. And it's the same thing with mental health disorders. Like, you don't necessarily want everyone to know. Like, I'm open about it, and I've had jobs that know. Forgot this product. Should have done that first, but okay. You shouldn't have to worry that if something happened to you, life would just be like, let's out her. Let's out her for her sexuality, her mental health disorder. There's just things that you just don't need to out. Like, I just don't understand that. Like, unless it's completely, like, you're for sure that this is probably what happened, and you have some evidence, because that's the other thing, like, the audacity. What evidence did you have to just decide that my mental health state was part of the case? And on top of that, a lot of the time, they don't tell you which disorders, and they just tell you that you could be a harm to others or yourself. And it's like, anxiety is a mental health disorder. So I could just have anxiety, and you're just like making it seem like it's like I'm a danger to people. I have bipolar too. I'm not a danger to anyone. I have never had, any, cases or anything of like hurting myself, it documented or told to anyone, or that I've done it, like nothing like that. For you to say like, oh, I have a mental health disorder, so probably I'm at a higher risk to hurt myself or someone else with no indication of that is just ridiculous. So all of this happened, like the reason I'm thinking of this, well, I had thought about it in the past, but the more prominent reason that I'm thinking about it now, the Sicily Hotel Netflix series, I love the way that they did it. I think that it was done really right and correct, the way that they showed the investigation, the way that they went through all of the issues that could be, why she went missing. Like, they did a great job, like literally a great job. But I just really wasn't expecting it to be that she had a mental health disorder and that, she locked, well, I'm not gonna like, if you haven't watched it, spoiler, she locked herself in a water tank on accident, like while she was having a manic episode. And she didn't lock herself in, she like jumped in or something, and she couldn't get herself back out. And so it was just sad. It was sad watching that, because I feel like a lot of really bizarre things happen to people with mental health disorders, when they're not on their medication, they're not taking it the right way, or their medication was prescribed right, therapy isn't working, whatever the case may be. But it really hurt watching that, and then it made me start thinking about, like, in that case, that was what happened to her. They tried to make it about the investigation and like all the different plots and twists and turns than to just say, oh, well, she had a mental health disorder and this is what happened to her. I liked that a lot. And I feel like, realistically, police investigations should be like that. We should give you the facts that we for sure know that are relevant to a case. And then, if nothing else, if we have evidence that this could be an issue and a reason why this person went missing, then we'll go ahead and tell you that they have this mental health disorder. Besides the police factor, besides all of that, you know, I've always thought, because I've grown up around mental health disorders, and, you know, obviously I have my own now, and I didn't realize that I did at first, but I've always thought about it, and I'm always just like, I would hate to pass away and for people to assume that it's related to a mental health disorder, that I just wasn't strong enough, or that I was vulnerable or weak, or my mind overcame me, or whatever the case may be. I was just too sad, you know, and it happens. But I just wish that no one would think that when I pass away. Because at the end of the day, like, just because you have a mental health disorder doesn't mean that there's anything actually wrong with you in any way, shape, or form. And they don't understand, like, they'll never understand, like, what we go through. So it's like, I don't need your sadness now. Mostly if it's someone that, like, treated me poorly or treated you poorly, and then they want to sit here and be like, oh, well, now that we found out that you have this, now I feel like I should have been nicer to you. Like, or people like now during your life, like, that are like, oh yeah, well, now that I know you have a mental health disorder, like, I'll be nicer. Like, it's not a crutch. Like, that's not how this works. You don't need to be a different human with me because I have a mental health disorder. Like, you don't have to feel sorry for me because you go through things in life too. And I'm not going to feel, you know, like I need to act like I'm walking on eggshells around you because you're going through life. Like, everyone has their problems. And I feel like people forget that just because you have a mental health disorder doesn't mean that you are any less normal or typical than anyone else. Like, everyone goes through their downfalls. Like, could you imagine if you got a divorce? There's my dog. Could you imagine if you got a divorce and then, and then your whole life changed? Everyone felt sympathetic for you forever. Everyone felt like they had to walk on eggshells around you forever. They didn't invite you to things because, you know, you're probably sad. You're just probably sad and you'd rather be at home being sad because you're divorced. Or they always check in on you and they're always just like, are you okay? You must be going through it. You poor thing. Could you imagine? Because I feel like when I tell people that I have bipolar, that's how it feels. Like, they're always like, are you okay? Do you need anything? Do you need help? You know, I'm not trying to trigger you. It's like, you're not gonna trigger me. Like, that's not, first of all, it's not how bipolar works. And second of all, like, you need to stop acting like there's something wrong with me. Oh, this is really hard to do on camera. Props to the makeup influencers, because that did not turn out how I normally do it. It's just so funny to me. Like, it's honestly hilarious to me, the fact that people, like, will walk on eggshells around you. Like, bro, this is my personality. Like, this is me now. I now know I have bipolar. I haven't changed. Like, I had bipolar before, and I just didn't know. Like, I haven't changed. This is still my personality. So, like, why are you acting different? Why are you acting like you have to walk on eggshells around me? You know, it's different when they check in on you, like, as a friend, like, hey, how are you? How are you doing? You know, life can be hard, whether I have bipolar or not, so, like, I appreciate that, but just, like, don't make it all about me being bipolar or anxious or whatever the case may be, because that just makes me feel like I'm not a human and I'm just a disorder, you know? I don't know if I'm just rambling and like no one else relates, but that's how I feel. Be kind to people, you know, depending on their situation or not, whether they have a mental health disorder or not. You know, just being kind is great and it's very appreciated. So let's just work on being good to other people and like not judging them based on whatever is going on in their life, because that would be awesome. I would love that. And yeah, you know, just I'm gonna keep making different videos like this. I kind of like it. It's different styled and it makes me feel like I'm connecting more with you guys and just talking about things that this is how I feel kind of thing. So just come back to Mental Health with Mel, please, guys. I love talking to you. And you know, if you need anything down below, I have attached a link as always. NAMI's on there and the suicide prevention hotline. You can text or call, so please reach out if you need anything. And you can reach me on Instagram or Facebook if you want to talk to me, or if you need any special, you know, help or any requests on videos, you can definitely reach out to me on there. And just like and subscribe. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this kind of video. Comment below if you do or not.